Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Noble, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my Machina deck profile. So I'm actually extremely excited about sharing this one with you guys because this is straight out of the box. It's brand new. It still has that great, fresh, crisp, brand new smell to it. Not that I was sniffing, but if I was, I'm sure that it did. Totally lying. Of course I was sniffing, but that's not the point. The point is this is brand new. It's a ton of fun to play. It's really good. It's budget. It's like 34 bucks of tax, something like that. This is bare bones build. I haven't, everything that's in this deck was in the boxes. I haven't altered anything. Haven't upped the raters, nothing like that. Excuse my fridge. It's probably going to be making some sound because it's been quiet all day. And of course, as soon as I start recording, it decides to talk to me. But other than that, let's get right on into this, guys. I really hope you enjoy it because I've had a ton of fun making it, and I really, really like this deck. I will be coming out with a more powered one later on, but right now, let's get into the bare bones structured deck one. So to start off, we're playing 3 Machina Citadel. There, cue the fridge. Machina Citadel. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by a card effect. It has a quick effect. You can target one Machina monster you control. Destroy that machine monster and all monsters your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to that monster. And then if a face-up machine monster or monsters you control, except this card is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. You can only use each effect of Machina Citadel once per turn. So this card is really, really good. Just being able to pop itself and then basically wipe your opponent's board of monsters because they're probably not going to have a card out that's more than 3,000 attack on the field. And don't be hesitant to use that effect because he can bring himself back out, later on, which he's really, and his effect, he's really easy to get out other ways as well. So don't be hesitant to pop him to wipe your opponent's board. Don't be thinking, well, how am I going to get this card back out? I promise you will get this card back out. So don't worry about that at all. But he's the real, go-to boss monster of the deck. He is fantastic. But moving on, we play 2 Machina Possess Storage. Interesting name, great artwork. What this card does is if this card is normal or special summon, you can target one Machina monster in your graveyard, except this card, and special summon it in defense position. It can activate its effects this turn, but that's fine. We got another body out in the field, and that's really good. Has a secondary effect where you can target one other Machina monster you control and one spell trap card your opponent controls and return them to the hand. So that's a really good effect. I like that because if your opponent's trying to lock you out with something like Secret Village of the Spellcasters, you can use this monster effect to basically compulse that card back to their hand. And that's really good. And then if he's summoned at all, you can bring another body out onto the field from the graveyard. And that's really good. So moving on from that, we play 3 Machina Aerator. I am too OCD to be laying out the cards like this. I really am. Anyway, Machina Aerator is a fantastic card. It's really easy to get out in the field because you can discard one other Machina monster and special summon this card from your hand. You can, during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target one machine monster you control, special summon from your deck, one Machina monster with a different name and an equal or lower than level than that monster, and if you do, destroy that targeted monster. And then you can only use each effect of Machina Aerator once per turn. So you may notice there's a lot of popping, going on of our own monsters, and that you might be thinking, well, that's kind of bad. That's a really bad downside. But it's not, because we play a card, or a few copies of a card in this deck, that actually make that really beneficial to us. So don't be hesitant to use these popping effects because it actually can help us out. Next up, I'm playing 3 of a card that I cannot say, and I'm sure you already know what it is just off of that alone. But Machina Aerator, this one. What this one does is you can discard one other Machina monster and special summon this card from your hand. So again, this card is easy to get out into the field. You can target one Machine monster you control, special summon from your graveyard, one Machina monster with a different name, and an equal or lower than level than that monster, and then if you do, destroy that targeted monster. So this is, again, a really easy way to get stuff out from the graveyard. Personally, I like it at 3. You can bump this down too if you don't want to, but I like the option to be able to get this easy body on the field and then get something onto the graveyard, onto the field as well from the graveyard. So moving on, I'm playing 3 Machina Fortress. Now there's an ultra rare print of this card. If you want to blend out the deck, this one's really pretty. It's ultra rare, like it's gorgeous, and it's only like $3, I think, a copy. So that's not that bad. So if you want to get that, you can pick that up. It's a really beautiful card. But what this one does is you can discard a machine monster whose total level, whose total level equal 8 or more, and then special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. So remember that you can bring this from your graveyard as well, so that's really fantastic. It's really versatile. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, target one card your opponent controls and destroy that target. Doesn't have to be a monster, doesn't have to be a face-up card, just any card, and that's really good. Before resolving an opponent's monster effect that targets this face-up card, look at your opponent's hand and then discard one card from their hand. And that's really going to make your opponent rethink activating monster effects, because they're basically going to have to, unless they have like an Infinity Die or something, they're basically going to have to give up a card in their hand to resolve a monster effect. And that's really going to make them reluctant to do that. And then I'm playing one Machina Megaform. God almighty. 2 OCD, guys. Now, if you want to get rid of a Fortress to play 2 Megaform, that's fine. I really like Megaform, so I honestly might bump them up to 2 to get rid of a Fortress. But it really just depends on the player, what you want to do. But Megaform is cool. You can tribute this card, especially summon one Machina monster from your hand or deck, except this card. There's no restrictions, no level restrictions, just straight up tribute this card and special summon any Machina monster from your deck. And that's awesome. If a face-up Machina Fortress you control sent to your graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can banish that Machina Fortress from the graveyard, special summon this card. You can only use one Machina Megaform effect per turn and only once that turn. So that's a really good card. Like I said, if you want to bump this to 2, absolutely, I might do that as well. So then moving on, I'm playing 2 Machina Gear Frame. This comes as a super rare as well. If you want to bump this up, it's not that bad. I think it's like $1.70, something like that on TCG Player. I might be wrong. Could be totally wrong, but I think that's what it is. But this is a really good card. I definitely think this is a 3 of, because when this card is normal summoned, you can add one Machina monster from your deck to your hand and set another copy of this card. So that's great searching, which you'll probably always search out your Citadel, but it's really, situational, but more than likely you will. And then once per turn, you can either target one machine monster you control, equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon. If the equipped monster will be destroyed by battle or card effect, destroy this card instead. So this is a really good protection for your Citadel or something else. This is really, really great. I definitely think this is a 3 of. And then for the last 3 monsters of the main deck, just 3 Scrap Recycler. This is a great card. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can send one machine monster from your deck to your graveyard, so he's basically a Foolish Burial. And then once per turn, you can shuffle 2 level 4 Earth Machine monsters from your graveyard into your deck, and then draw a card. So that's good draw power as well, but that Foolish Burial ability is fantastic. To do the graveyard setup is just on his summoning is really good. That's it for the monsters. No Ash, nothing like that, because they didn't come in the structure deck. Like I said, this is bare bones. So we're gonna move right on into the spells. So we're playing 3 of, in my opinion, the best spell in the deck. This spell just makes this deck really viable. It's really, really good. Machina Redeployment. Such a beautiful card. What it does is you activate one of these effects. You can discard 1 card, add 2 Machina monsters with different names from each other from your deck to your hand. That is fantastic by itself. Then it has a secondary effect where you can discard 1 Machina card and add 2 Machina cards with different names from each other from your deck to your hand, except Machina Redeployment. You can only activate 1 Machina Redeployment per turn. So that's really good, being able to have the option to add 2 Machina monsters or 2 Machina cards from your deck to your hand. This card is such a good searcher. So next up, we're playing 3 of the card I vaguely talked about a few minutes ago. Supply Squad. So I think most of you know what Supply Squad does, but real quick, just in case you don't, it's a continuous spell. And once per turn, if a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you draw a card. It's once per turn, but if you have 2 or 3 copies on the field, you get all those effects. So if you use your Citadel to pop itself or whatever to wipe your opponent's board of monsters, you get to draw 3 cards, and that's fantastic. That's why I was like, don't be hesitant to use those effects, because you're going to bring out Citadel right back from the graveyard anyway. So, and then going +3 off this effect, that's really, really good. So I really think you should play 3 Supply Squad. It's not a dead card at all in this build. Really any Machina build. For the next 3, we're playing 3 Limiter Removal, because this card is crazy. It does destroy our monsters at the end phase, but a lot of times, our opponent's dead by the end phase. And it's a quick play, so if our opponent tries to attack into us, they're going to be really thinking about it. But what it does is it doubles the attack of all machine monsters you currently control until the end of this turn. And then, like I said, during the end phase of this turn, destroy those monsters. But there's really usually no end phase after when you play this card. Normally your opponent's dead, because if you lay 2 down, it doubles and doubles again. So that's so good. And like if your opponent's attacking you and they know you're running 3 Limiter Removal, and you have a face down card, they're like, oh god, does he have a limited removal? It's like the Boojin Crane card. That's really what it is. Like, your opponent is really going to be thinking twice about attacking you if you have something set on the field, and it's really good. So for 2, I play 2 Iron Draw, just for, you know, some draw power. This one comes in a secret rare. I think it's about 173 or something like that on Amazon, and a little bit cheaper than that maybe on TCG Player. So if you want to bling it out as well. But Iron Draw is really cool because if you control exactly 2 Machina effect monsters and no other monsters, you can draw 2 cards. So that's cool, but it comes with the caveat for the rest of this turn, you can only special summon 1 more time. And you can only activate 1 Iron Draw per turn. So you only 1 more special summon, but getting to go +2 off this, that's really good. So for a few spot removal, 2 Cosmic Cyclone. It depends on the deck you're playing if you want to bump this up to 3. You know, I don't blame you. Just depends on what you're playing. But Cosmic Cyclone's great because it banishes and doesn't destroy, so it gets around a lot of spell effects like the Seal. I don't know who runs the Seal anymore, but so if you're playing against someone who's run the Seal over Calcos, you can just Cosmic Cyclone it because it doesn't destroy. And then I like playing 2 can you get right there? 2 Magnet Reverse, because if you don't want to run this card, don't. But I like it a lot because it's a quick play spell. It targets one of your machine or rot monsters that is banished or is in a graveyard that can't be normal, special summoned, normal summon or set, excuse me, and then you special summon it. So it's a really good way to bring out your Citadel. I just like it, the extra way to bring out your Citadel. If you don't want to run this card, don't, but I like it. So that's it for the spells. Let's get into the traps. We're only playing a few traps. Just playing 3 Machina Overdrive. This is a really good card. I really like it. The artwork's beautiful. I really wish this was one of the super rare cards. I really do that they would have made this one the super rare and instead of the unauthorized whatever it was. But what this one does is you target 1 machine monster you control and special summon 1 Machina monster with a different name from your hand or deck, and if you do destroy that targeted monster, again, you know, firing off our supply squad, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 3 of your machine monsters that are banished or in your graveyard, shuffle them to your deck, then draw a card. So again, more draw power, and that's great. You can only use 1 Machina Overdrive effect per turn, and only once that turn. So it's a versatile card, really good, and I love that draw power at the end. And then for the last 3 cards of the deck, playing 3 Solemn Strike, because this got printed as a common. It came in the structure deck, and it's one of the most powerful cards, really. And why the heck would you not play this? So, you know, real quick, you don't know what it does. When a monster or monsters will be special summoned, or a monster effect is activated, you pay 1,500 life points, negate the summon or activation, then destroy that card. Great card, counter traps. A lot of times your opponent can't even respond to it. So yeah, guys, this is it. This is the deck. Like I said, this was really bare bone, straight out of the box. Didn't add anything to it, didn't bling it out. I will be coming out with another, like, more powerful, not more powerful, maybe a more complete one later on. But this is it. If you got 3 of them, 3 of the structure decks, which I totally recommend you running and picking it up if you're able to. It's a lot of fun to play. It's really good. The last few structure decks have been really banging, and I'm really excited about playing this. But that's it, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this deck, what kind of builds you're running. Do me a favor and smash that like button, hit that bell so you become a part of the notification team, and I will see you guys in the next video.